Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. This one is coming out to you sooner than we expected. We are reviewing the WWE Royal Rumble, the annual pay-per-view that happens the first of the year for WWE. It happened in October, it happened in February this year. October's a long way off. It's been a long night, guys. We are literally recording this. I just dropped Campo off at home and we're recording this now, like literally after the Rumble. So this is coming to you without a net, live. So we're doing it
It's
live.
also coming to you with no editing, and Campbell's also drunk.
Yes, he
So let's
is.
see how that goes.
Yep, for someone who doesn't drink, I gave him a lot of vodka.
He did. He didn't drink, though. He's
No,
very
I
straight
didn't.
edge.
Yeah,
He's the CM Punk of the
I'm a CM
YouTube
Punk guy.
world.
Yeah, exactly. But we're reviewing the Royal Rumble. With me once again, we have Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, everything else in between. You need reviews, go check him out on that channel. Also, go check us out on Spotify. This review, along with all the other major reviews coming out this year, are on Spotify. So if you haven't gone to check that out yet, make sure you go. Just search up wrestling reviews with Johnny and Campo. It'll be the first one that pops up, and listen to us over there. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel as much as we can. That's why we're branching out to Spotify. We're doing all kinds of stuff. So make sure you go and give us a follow on all the platforms. If you can't watch us, at least we can give you ear pleasure.
Well, it's very pleasurable.
Exactly. So we are talking about the Royal Rumble match. Literally, we're recording this literally like an hour and a half after the show ended.
Yeah.
We
Can
had
I
a,
just have a quick
sure.
thing?
Yeah.
Missed opportunity to at some point at all. Hopefully they do have Santino show up. We didn't. Kept forgetting to say while we were all there. We watched this with a group of people, by the
hmm
way.
There's about
Um,
six of us together tonight.
for him to for Santino to call Penta Pinta.
Yes.
Come on, the Pinta.
De Pinta. Yeah.
I
De
think that
Pinta,
would
De
be
Pinta.
I think that
That
would
would have
be
been.
funny. Anyways, I'm sorry, that's
And
doesn't matter.
we could have had a double Santino appearance in the
I know
women's
that would have been nice.
Santino and
I
Santino.
think they should have did that.
Maybe next year.
Had they done the 40, I think they would have.
Yeah, because they would have been. But we'll talk about that when we get to the actual matches. So, like I said, if you haven't already, make sure you go like, comment, share, subscribe to this channel. Go follow this guy. His stuff will be down in the description box below. So let us get right into it. Only four matches on the card, and two of them were Royal Rumble matches. So we'll start with the first match of the night, which was the women's Royal Rumble match. We get Io Sky to start and Liv Morgan. Interesting
Yeah,
combination.
the first grouping of entrants here, as we'll go through it, was
hmm
we
Pretty
found it odd
solid.
because even the men started off really well as well. Sorry, that's a double
Yeah.
well there, but it's this one was weird because it took a while before someone crap came in this. In the men's match, there was like not crap, but like people you knew were fodder. Where in the women's match, it was kind of like, oh, why
Yeah,
everyone's just coming
because
out.
it starts off with Io Sky, and then we get Liv Morgan, and then the next entrant, she was our Iron Woman of the match. It was Roxanne Perez.
Technically,
Well, yeah, she lasted the
technically,
longest.
I don't know if she lasted the
She
longest
did.
because they were in there for a minute before her.
Right, but she lasted longer because the match itself went for 1 hour and 12
So is
minutes.
it possible we don't have this on hand? Don't check this. Let's just speculate for now for funsies.
hmm
Is it possible that she had the longest stay in a rumble? Did
I
anyone ever
think
win
so.
from one? Did Bailey win from one last
Bailey
year?
has won from one, but
It
the
wasn't this
Rumble,
long.
it wasn't this long, the Rumble. I think the Rumble lasted only about an hour.
Yeah, so I think she lasted
Timmy's
over 67 minutes, Roxy.
Timmy, yeah, Roxy lasted 67 minutes. Timmy's on it right now. He's looking for it.
I like it better when we're speculating. I didn't even want facts, but I guess I'm gonna
Bailey
get it.
last year set the record at 1 hour and 3 minutes, and this year, Roxanne did it.
Yeah, Roxanne beat it, right?
Yeah,
Like we said, WWE has this thing, and other companies do it. Most notably, I would say, is
and
New
she entered
Japan.
number three as well.
Yeah,
Bailey
there you
didn't
go.
start. It was Natalia and
So,
Naomi that started
most
last year.
notably, the other company that does this thing is New Japan.
hmm
As we've noticed, where there's like hat tips to people's careers with certain things when they might not ever be like the world's greatest, but they have a thing like Chelsea Green
Yeah,
being the first, or Lyra Valkyria being the first, or someone being the first to get
which are your
the
4 and 5 entrants right there?
people to get the Grand Slam, first person to get the
hmm
Grand Slam, stuff like that, right? Bailey doing everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So her being the longest, Roxy will never be the top person, I don't think. She
not
might
the.
be in that tier, by push, not by skill. I
Talent.
don't think she
Yeah.
could still get better. She's still young, but I'm just saying from what I see now.
She actually, let's give her credit. She actually looked good in this
She
Rumble
did, but
match.
not the best out of the women,
No.
right? That's my point. And so, but this is kind of like a pre-hat tip. So, like, should her career never get anywhere, she could be like, well, at one point she had the longest
Nice run.
time in a Rumble, right?
Yeah.
But it started off really well. So who's number four?
Number 4 was Valkyria,
So
Chelsea
Valkyria
Green.
came in. It was good. Chelsea Green came in. There was a lot of fun spots with Green. She took a
Mm-hmm.
few big bumps. She did some cool hanging off the ropes with her legs for a while.
Yeah. And
Then
then we
who
had
was
your
next?
favorite. You're like, who the hell is this? BFAB,
Oh, BFAB. Okay, so we knew this was fodder, but then after BFAB, who came in?
Ivy Nile.
Ivy Nile, which was actually surprisingly, if we're gonna look at it like the way that I said it, it doesn't really translate to that necessarily. But Ivy Nile
Hmm.
did really well.
Yeah. And then
But
after that, somebody who did even better was Zoe Stark.
Zoe Stark was amazing in this. Zoe Stark was the best part of this.
Yeah. She came in and did those crazy like suplex, like flippy, whatever those
Yeah.
were. Like they
There's
were
some
like,
other people that we'll get to where I'm going to
mhm.
say things, but I think at the end of the day, the highlight of this Rumble was Zoe Stark
Yeah.
when she got spots. When she was pushed to the side, she didn't do much, but when she got
No,
spots, she was really good. She took good
yeah.
bumps, and her suplex maneuver that she dropped like 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
is
Like
something
right at the
we've never
beginning.
even
Yeah.
seen. Everyone in
No.
the room was like, "What is that?"
Yeah. All of us were like jaw dropped at that.
It was really nice, especially
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after Zoe, we got Lash Legend, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler,
Yeah,
Bailey at
see,
number
now we're
12,
like we're going back to the good ones again,
right?
right?
Sonya Deville, Maxine Dupree. Let's
And
see
you
a
know
number.
what? She was surprising.
Yeah.
We all, especially me, immediately talk shit.
Hmm.
Just like, oh, you're good looking, you're not gonna you're really bad. But like you could see she's had some training. She did a couple
Yeah.
nice spots. Really bad back heel kick to knock out
Hmm.
I can't remember who she knocked out.
I
It
think was
doesn't
it
it
can't
doesn't
remember.
matter. We're
Yeah.
not gonna get into that because there will
She
be
knocked
here all
out
day.
Ivy Nile.
Ivy now. It looked really bad, but some of the stuff that she did in there was surprising.
Yeah.
The one thing that, like I said, I will take away from her is she still is very kick heavy and her kicks look bad.
Yeah.
But she did a couple little handspring things, like some suplexes. It
Yeah.
look nice.
She's improving. She's improving. And then 15, you got Naomi, then Jada Parker, Piper Niven, Natalia. 19 is the worst kept secret, which was Jordan Grace.
And Jordan Grace came in really good. Jordan Grace had a great 3 minute run,
Hmm.
but I think everything after that was really lackluster,
Surprising,
especially
she only had one elimination.
so it's not even the eliminations, it's the way that it ran out. So if you saw her in last year's event where we were talking about it, where Ivy Nile
Hmm.
really struggled to like do she's supposed to be a power girl, right? The
Hmm.
same way that the Chase U girl is supposed to be on NXT. What's her
Yeah.
name?
Thea Hale.
Thea Hale. But this is pre them bringing in
Yeah.
actual power women, right? Um and she struggled with it. But then Jordan Grace came in and was like, "Oh, I'm going to lift you plus another girl. I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm going to do all this crazy stuff." And
Yeah.
she really had a great entrance there. And over the last year, she's had her ups and downs. We've seen her be at peak, so we
Hmm.
know she's good.
Yeah.
But coming into this, she's hot. She came off like 3 really good matches in a row.
Hmm.
And came in here, was a house of fire for 3 minutes, did a wicked spot with Nia Jax on her shoulders, and she did the no, it
The
wasn't Nia Jax, it was was it Piper
Piper
Niven?
Niven.
Piper Niven, and did the rollover shoulder
Fireman's
like
carry. Yeah.
fireman's carry, Kenny Omega esque, with
Yeah.
a large woman on her back,
Yeah.
and then after that didn't do anything
Yeah.
for the entirety of her rest of her thing, and she went out way too early.
Yes, she did. She came in at number 19 and was the 15th person eliminated.
Yeah, so yeah,
But
I
to be
expected her to
fair,
go longer.
she was eliminated by someone. I think there's going to be a feud starting here. So then we
Fair.
get Mishin. We get
Tell them the
Mishin.
feud. It doesn't matter the entrance. Tell
It's
them
going
what
to be it's going to be Julia because Julia eliminates her.
Okay,
Julia
so
came in at
we'll get
number
into that.
28.
We'll get into that. Now continue your
So
run
we
here,
get Michin. We get a returning Alexa Bliss.
which we weren't expecting.
Yeah.
She came. Okay,
She came out with the dark character again.
so we know that she's probably going to take over the Wyatt family
The Wyatt
story.
Six, yeah.
Probably with a feud where we might even get a match, which we don't see this in WWE, where she might fight Bo Dallas or something. or during a match, she's going to be the one that turns on Bo Dallas and hits
Yeah.
him, and like, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily think WWE would do a man woman match because they're not like that,
No, they
but
won't do
you
intergender.
know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Um, she came in. Her initial, like, everyone gets their spots, right? Unless you're
Yeah.
like Sonya Deville or something, you don't really get a spot.
But if
Um,
you're a turning big name like that, yeah, you get a spot.
fair, right? So she got her little spot, and she looked pretty good. We were surprised because I was talking shit. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
we honestly thought she was going to have some after 2 years not in
Yeah,
the and not in the ring.
she
We thought
didn't
she was going to
look.
have some.
So I mentioned that she looked a lot leaner
Hmm.
in the sense of like, and we were struggling to figure out what I was trying to say. I was drinking. But now I have the words for it. She lost a lot of her like muscle mass.
Yeah.
She's skinnier, and you could see that like there's not as much muscle to her.
Yeah.
So I was like expecting her to be, like floppy. She
Yeah.
came in for 1 minute. She went really well.
Yeah.
She did really well, but then it went back to the old
She got
punching at the
eliminated pretty
air.
quickly by Liv Morgan.
Yeah, she started punching at the air. She started doing weak hits, and it went out like. And it's not to be disrespectful to her, but I just don't see her place right now. Let her do storylines. That's
Yeah.
fine.
But yeah,
Um,
because when she was going for that little section before she got eliminated by Morgan with Morgan, it looked pretty bad.
it did, but initially when she first came in, we were like, "Oh, it's gonna be bad." No, it wasn't. It was pretty good
Yeah.
actually. We had
So,
to
and
turn off his Alexa because she does not like it.
no. Then we get Zelina Vega 22, Candice LeRae, which we totally forgot about that she's still with the
Candice
company.
LeRae got absolutely demolished for every minute she was in this match.
Yeah.
And you
Same
know
thing with
me,
Vega. Same thing with Zelina Vega.
but this is a difference. I don't now or ever have thought, I know that's not as English as I want it to be, that Zelina Vega was a good wrestler. She's
Right.
one of the people, there's many people, but
She's
like
fodder again.
specifically that you could point at and say from day one to where she's at now, there's such a little progression that if you watch
Yeah.
WWE for that entire period, you wouldn't even notice that she got better.
Yeah,
Only someone who watched at the very start and at the very end would notice. Anyone who watched all the
exactly.
way, you'd be like, she hasn't done anything. And she came in and she sucked and she
Hmm.
got eliminated. Candice LeRae, that's who it is, right?
Yeah.
Is actually a pretty good wrestler. But
Yeah.
in this second WWE run, she has not been good. I don't care if
No.
she won the belt. I've been really down on her. You started high on her, and then you
Yeah.
kind of went with me
Went down on her.
and
Yeah.
seeing it, right?
That
You
didn't
didn't even
sound
have to
right.
have someone tell you
Yeah.
to like convince you. You could just see it.
Yeah. She's digressed instead of, and she's
Being
regressed.
she's settled into that Chelsea Green thing where it's like I'm just okay being fodder,
A
but
mid
without the
card. Yeah.
bumps,
Yeah. Yeah.
without the
It's like
character,
almost
without the bumps,
exactly. She's almost afraid to take, it seems like she's almost afraid to take bumps.
right? And she doesn't have the character of Chelsea either. I
No.
think if it wasn't for Gargano, she wouldn't be here.
Yeah. She has much more charisma, or Chelsea has much more charisma than,
Chelsea's one of the most charismatic women in all of wrestling. I would have loved to see peak Chelsea against timeless Tony Storm
yes,
in a
that would have been,
ladder match.
I'll take it. Number 24, we get Stephanie Vaquer. So
What do we
happy
have to
about that.
say? We love her.
Yeah.
She was good in this match, not great. They kind of didn't know what to do with her. She kind of
Yeah.
just existed. Same with Julia, I'll be honest. So I think
Yeah.
she comes in like two spots
25,
later.
we get Trish Stratus. 26, Raquel Rodriguez.
And Trish
27,
didn't do anything either.
which one? Trish? Yeah, she didn't
Trish
do
didn't
very
do
much.
anything. Raquel didn't do anything. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying they didn't eliminate people. I'm saying from me watching for an entertainment
Yeah.
standpoint, I didn't get
Actually,
anything.
Raquel did not eliminate anybody. She helped Liv eliminate a few
Eliminate,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'm not trying to be like down or disrespectful guy, but like we watch wrestling
A
all
lot.
over.
We do. We
She
watch it all
looks,
over the world.
and I know she has an issue, like
Yeah.
medical issue, but she looks severely out of shape from the Raquel Rodriguez we saw at the Elimination Chamber.
Chamber. Yeah, last year. Exactly. 27, Charlotte Flair. 28, we get Julia. 29, Nia Jax. And the final entrance, we're like, why was Nikki Bella here?
Yeah, I don't get that either. I'm not a Bella Twins fan. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think I would have rather had Michelle McCool. I would have rather had Masha Slamovich. I would have rather had a lot of people. Okay,
Yeah,
we don't have to
really
dig
no
into it.
surprises. You can't really call Jordan Grace a surprise because she's
We knew
signed
that,
officially. Yeah.
and like my surprises were that even though they didn't look bad, Julia and Stephanie came in and didn't
Mhm.
really have anything to do. Like they had their little spot moment, they had a
Yeah.
little stare down. There was some story beats. I think not. So just to put this into perspective, everything I'm saying negatively here, you have to take with a grain of salt from just me watching so much wrestling.
We're just being extremely critical of it.
But I
Yeah.
think that's what you need to be. You can't
Yeah.
just let everything fly. I do think this match was entertaining overall, and it was
Yeah.
a solid match. It might be better than the men's. Um,
Mm.
but I think story wise, they did such a good job in this
Hmm.
women's match setting up storylines. Like
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. And we'll talk about the men's when we get there, but I every
Yeah.
single
Because,
beat in this told something that's leading to something. And I
yeah.
thought that was fantastic.
Well, the
The
fact
problem,
that one of the last people eliminated was Roxanne Perez, and she knocked out Julia in this
yeah.
match.
And
And
so that's just why they did that, because they're trying to make her not look weak because she's gonna get called up.
yeah.
And Julia's gonna stay on NXT. So you don't
Yeah.
Julia's a champion, so she doesn't need to look good. You kind of got to make Roxy look good because she's gonna come up.
Yeah.
Um,
And they gave Nia Jax the most elimination spots with
yeah.
9.
And but it was deserved. She did some cool, she not cool, but she
Yeah.
did
She
things
wasn't,
that were right. She did the
yeah.
spots in the right scenario.
Yeah. She knew she wasn't going to win, but at least she made other people look good with with Dylan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've been saying she has gotten better as a wrestler. I would not put her in my top five. Sorry, Markel. But it's to see her grow to the point where she went from being, not that she's safe now, from being this most unsafe wrestler in
Really
men's or
dangerous. Yeah.
women's wrestling
That people didn't want to work with.
to being able to call shots in the ring with other big names who
Yeah.
should be calling the shots. That to me is like, I feel
Yeah.
like
Let's give
you've
her
grown.
her due there.
You've
Yeah.
grown.
Absolutely.
But like to say what I was saying, so that the storylines are really good, and it's not to take away from what happened because I think Julia and Stephanie had good storyline beats in this
Hmm.
match, but they didn't do anything outside of their hot spot coming into the ring
Yeah.
for the rest of the match. What their time in the match.
Yeah. Their time in the ring. Yeah, for
And I
sure. But
think so. Charlotte wins,
Mhm.
and I think it was the wrong call.
We knew that was going to happen, though.
If it's four, and I will back this 1,000% with all of my heart because I
If it's
think
to put
Charlotte is
Tiffy
amazing.
over,
If it's to put Tiffy or Rhea over, absolutely. If it's to win the belt, no.
yeah.
I will stop watching every women's match in WWE if that's the case.
Now, if you're not agreeing with Charlotte, who out of all these people, who should have won this? I honestly think
Jordan
it should have been
Grace.
Jordan Grace. Yeah.
We thought that was our wild card pick. And
Yeah.
if you were going to go WWE women, it should have been Nia Jax
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
to continue the heelishness.
And the feud.
Right? Yeah, it didn't need to be a feel good ending. And I said this from the beginning. I thought the women's match was going to end in a bad feeling way.
Yeah. But it
Like it was
didn't.
going to leave the fans like upset. And it didn't. It
Oh,
was
I
a
won
good
the over
match.
under, by the way. 3 WrestleMania points.
He did, which is very low.
Yeah.
We had 3, 4, 5 was the
Yeah.
picks. And your brother, I think, said 6 when he came, but
Yeah.
it was already at 2. Um, it's I think realistically, this should be in the multi women match
Yeah.
argument for the year so far. I know
Really.
it's early, but I
It's still
think you
early,
could.
but
It was entertainment value was
yeah,
there, storytelling
absolutely.
was there. Was it the best match we've ever seen? No, but I never felt bored during this one.
The only thing I couldn't understand is the fact that Perez and Bailey have been feuding in NXT for the last few weeks, but yet they didn't even show any of that in.
So, but I think that's how it's going to happen. The match is going to lead Roxanne from having it at a pay per view or a big event in NXT to doing facing her in a WWE main event,
Okay.
and then at the draft, that's where the call up's going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like
That makes more
maybe they have their
sense.
match at Stand and Deliver, and
Okay.
then instead of having Bailey on Mania because she doesn't really have a feud there, so you have Bailey versus her on Stand and Deliver as just a solo singles match, and then to continue that feud, you have her get called up to the main roster.
And do it like the Monday after Raw kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And they do
Okay.
their picks. You'd be like, they do back to back picks, right? Bailey and Roxanne Perez. And you have them be like, oh, that you did it.
Yeah.
SmackDown took both of them on purpose to have a feud, right? Or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would make sense, and I'll take that. That shouldn't be.
Good
But yeah,
math. I'll
it
give it
was.
three
It
and a
was.
half,
I had a
almost
lot of
four
fun.
stars
Yeah.
for fun factor.
Definitely had a lot of fun with this match. So with that, our next match of the night was DIY defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against Motor City Machine Guns in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. We were all
Hold on.
talking about. we were all talking about how we miss the original Motor City Machine Guns theme song.
Yes, we did. And I mean, come on, Motor City. But like I said, this is two good tag teams. This is
Hmm.
two what we did on our list. Two of the top tag teams. And if DIY wasn't on the list, I don't remember. They were really close
They
on
were
honorable
really close,
mentions.
I think, because they had that split up for a bit and then they went
Yeah, it
solo
was just
for,
too
yeah,
they didn't reach that time frame.
yeah,
But it was last 5 years, and I do think if you go 10 years, they're definitely there, and Motor City's 100% in
yeah,
top five.
on that list.
Uh, Motor City will retire as one of the greatest tag teams of all time. DIY probably won't, but they're still in their era contained.
Yeah.
They're very good. So I want to let you describe this match, but before I let you do it, I, I want to give my feelings on it without spoiling it, and then I'll let you describe the entire match. I thought this, especially given the type of match it was
Hmm.
going to be 2 out of 3 falls, was going to be a lot more spot heavy or more
Hmm.
physical or dirty blood feudy even. And it
Right.
wasn't. It was kind of light until
It
the
was
very
very
end.
light.
It
It
was
was
light until
very
like the
it
last third.
what I will give it credit for in this match was DIY with their heel tactics were fantastic.
Okay, so give them the match and then we'll give our
So
exit
this
feelings on it.
this match for me started off extremely slow. It was not the pace I was expecting, especially from someone like Shelly and Saban, who are very quick in the tag teams, like quick tags, quick
So was DIY.
transitions. Yeah, but the thing is too, we've watched so much Motor City that in the last 2, 3 years that we know what to expect from Motor
Maybe
City.
10x the amount to DIY.
Exactly. And what to expect from them in a match like this.
Hmm.
And it did not start the way I expected it to start. I do like how the first pinfall came was they did a pretend tag on Johnny Gargano and then Champa knocks out Shelly for the first pinfall because he thought
It caught
Gar
us off guard. I
yeah,
forgot it was 2 out of 3s. I stood up and screamed no because I couldn't believe the match was ending already on that
yeah,
bullshit. Sorry for my
yeah.
language, but
But yeah.
continue.
But yeah. Then we get, a couple slow spots and Motor City got the second pinfall from out of nowhere. It like literally
So
just
then we got
happened.
two kind of out of nowheres.
Yeah.
But right after that, the match like
Picked
really
up.
ramped up.
Yeah.
The
It
problem
really
was it
picked.
was already very close to the end of the match when it started
Yeah.
to pick
It
up.
was at that point it was already too late for me. Like the match was 14 minutes and we're talking this is already at the
Mhm.
10 11 minute mark. And then the way it ended too is kind of funny. We get interference by the Street Profits.
Yeah.
So
And
the Street Profits attack DIY, but they win DIY and
but they
then
also didn't they also hit the machine guns
they hit
too?
them both, yeah.
So
Montez Ford attacked the Motor City Machine Guns while Angelo Dawkins attacked
and
Johnny Gargano.
so they end up winning
Hmm. DIY
two
are
two
still your
one,
champions. Yeah.
still the champions. But I think that, and I think it's a good thing because we were talking. If this goes to a three-way match, even if you do
Hmm.
TLC at
WrestleMania.
Mania,
I'll take it.
that would be awesome. And that's what I want from this tag division. The Street Profits,
Are very good.
they could have. I don't even remember. No, they didn't make our list, but they
No,
they were
but they got an
very.
honorable mention. They
They
got
should
very
have
close.
because they're
Yeah.
great. The problem is their injuries and like the time between and WWE's tag division being bullshit and like the way
Yeah.
that it flowed, it didn't turn out. I love Street Profits and
Yeah.
I really like DIY as a team. I'm not a Johnny Gargano fan, you know this. I do
Yeah.
like Champa, even though I
Hmm.
talk poo about him. I'm just joking. But I like them as a team, and I
Yeah.
love the Machine Guns. And
Yeah.
I think that match, if it went to Mania or even if they do it at Elimination Chamber, will be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, let's say you go to Elimination Chamber and one of the other two teams win, and then that team faces DIY again in a rematch at Mania. That like something
Hey,
like
I'll
that.
take
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Um, but and I used to use this term for describing things when I didn't know all my Mark lingo. I used to say and I remember this vividly because I remember feeling like an idiot later once I learned. I was like, oh, Punk versus Hangman or Hangman versus Cole in those matches when Hangman was champion, they were great technical matches. And they're not. A technical match is Zack Sabre Jr.
Junior.
versus Brian
Daniel.
Danielson. Or I would be
Yeah.
like, oh, they were great pure wrestling matches, which it's not. A pure wrestling match is Wheeler Yuta versus uh the Buffalo Kid or Wheeler Yuta. You know what I mean? Like
Versus Shibata.
Shibata, like that's a pure match and a technical match. But what I meant by those things, and I'm not trying to correct myself now, I'm
Post,
just saying
yeah,
what I've learned is this was the definition. Even if it was slow at the beginning and it picked up at the end and it wasn't a perfect match, the way that it moved so fluidly was the execution of
yeah,
almost not a 5-star match, but a perfect match. There was no
yeah.
botches. It
Straight
flowed
calling, yeah.
perfectly. Even when it was slow, it moved
It
in
was
a
a
way that
perfectly executed match.
right. So it's like one would want to call it a great technical match, but it wasn't actually what technical wrestling is. Do you know what I
It's a
mean?
great choreographed match.
Yeah, it just there was no it was perfect from start to finish. Not a
Yeah.
5-star match. It
No,
was
perfectly
a
executed though,
perfectly executed match. So
and told the
as much
story
as
that
I
they wanted to
didn't really
tell.
like it personally, I thought it
Yeah,
was fine. I
yeah,
can't knock it too hard. It's a solid 3, maybe three
yeah.
two five out of 5 because it there was nothing bad about this
Wrong
match.
about it. Yeah, it just
I,
started off a
yeah,
little
so
slow for
I
me. That's
couldn't.
all.
I don't like it. That's how you're losing stars.
Hmm.
But then from the other side of it, I can't go any lower because it was just so well played.
Yeah, makes sense. I can agree to that. DIY, like you said, do retain 2-1. So with that, our next match, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship. It's I don't want to say unification match because nobody should call it a
Yeah.
unification match because Kevin Owens is not the champion. He
Yeah,
just
and I
stole the
don't.
other belt.
I as much as I hate that, and because I yelled about it.
Yes, you were very adamant
At
about
this
that
point
tonight.
is when I got kicked into full super wrestling mode. No, I wasn't drunk yet. This was like
No,
me and like the most hardcore me being me yelling about wrestling.
being a mark.
And I think everyone agreed with me for the most
Yeah,
part. It's I don't want to watch any more Cody Rhodes because it's always the same shit. And I like
yeah.
Cody Rhodes. I
I've
made it
never,
sure
you know me, I've never been too high
exactly.
on
And
Cody.
I'm not saying that now for camera. Did I not say that
Yeah,
when we were filming? I've always been a fan of Cody
yeah.
Rhodes since I
You've
started watching wrestling again. Okay. I love Dustin Rhodes too. I love Dusty Rhodes. But I've come to see him post New Japan, post AEW. He's AEW, it was more like his character got stale.
mhm,
Here, it's like his matches are just he's
the
Roman
same.
Reignsing. It's the same
Yeah, it's the
match
same
every
match.
time, and there's the story.
We do get a little bit different in this match. We
Well,
do
hold
get a
on, wait.
little bit of
We
a
don't want to get into this
yeah.
match yet. He can cut a good promo, but the
Hmm.
problem is his storyline. Since he got here, is the same storyline all the way through. You had the shades of the turn from Kevin at Money in the Bank. That was a year ago.
Yeah,
You had the shades of the bloodline thing that's happening, the telling the final
yeah,
story, and it's this. I don't care how good his promos are or how good his character is. The story hasn't progressed for me
yeah.
as a fan, and that's what I'm coming to WWE
Well,
for. I'm
like I
not
said,
coming
well,
to
like
WWE for wrestling,
we
right?
come for the stories. Yeah,
I'm coming for like the story or like the general atmosphere of WWE. That's what I'm here for,
yeah.
and
The
Kevin Owens,
spectacle.
I love Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens is one of the most underrated talents ever in wrestling. But at this point of his career, he's not that guy to that extent. He's still
No,
good, but
yeah,
to that extent. And we've seen him have insane ladder matches to the point where having this kind of felt like whatever.
yeah. Because you, me, and Jeremy were talking about that ladder match he had
All of his
at
ladder matches.
yeah, the one against El
He's one of the
Generico, and
legends of ladder matches. If nobody knows that, you should go
yeah,
look. Kevin Steen has had some of the best ladder matches.
Kevin Steen versus El Generico Ladder War 3. Go watch that.
Yeah. But so we're coming into this match with me yelling about that and you guys having slight opinions on it.
Hmm.
And then we didn't get that match at all. We got actually a slow build,
Yeah.
what we were expecting, but it turned into a match that flipped on its head where we were like, oh my gosh, what's happening? We were not expecting this at
At
all.
one point, the mini ladder was more over than the two competitors in the ring.
Fair. But then the match flipped on its head
Yeah,
and there was some gnarly
the
spots.
spot I think where the spot where the match changed pace was when he
The
did the
Cody
back
throw.
body when he did the body drop onto the corner, the top corner of the ladder, and Kevin took that
Was
at the
that
corner, the tip
before
of the
he threw Cody into the ladder?
yes,
Okay, so yes, that is the point exactly when it turned. And then you had the Cody throw, you had the spot on the ladder,
hmm
you had the spot outside the ring on the table, then you had the spot where Kevin went through
the ladder.
the ladder, which
That
was
that was gnarly.
nasty, nasty, nasty.
Everybody's like,
And
"Oh my God, KO's dead!" Like we were all like,
listen,
"KO's dead."
I'm
Yeah,
not going to sit here and be a mark like I used to, where we used to do the AEW reviews, and every time I thought, or New Japan, and I was like, oh, he actually got hurt. WWE was rare. It's funny because I never said that about WWE. It
Yeah.
was always, I was like, oh shit, this guy's actually hurt. They sell well. Wrestlers are made to
Yeah.
do that, and it tricked me. I was a new to wrestling again, and I've grown. I'm not saying he got hurt here, but there's a high potential that he
That
did
he's
get some
probably,
kind of
yeah,
injury, because
damage. Yeah.
not only did he
He didn't
land,
move for 10
he
minutes.
didn't mean to do that.
He recoiled, like he rolled in on
Right.
himself.
But the only bonus you have on that is that because the ladder's raised, his shoulders could have hit and
Yeah.
took most of the
It's
brunt.
just, it wasn't the hit that probably where you
It was
might
because
have
he
gotten.
rolled neck
He rolled
first
into,
into the
yeah.
hole. He
Yeah.
went into the ladder hole,
But
and
then
as
again,
it
we did
collapsed.
see him move after on his own power.
Fair
So,
enough, right? We're not saying the X is for real and he's dead, right? But what
yeah.
we're saying is that there's a chance that maybe he did sustain some kind of injury, because that fall was definitely not practiced.
Yeah.
He meant to hit it on the ladder and this accidentally rolled back a tad and his head went
He,
right
yeah.
into the hole.
He over, what, I don't know what the
Rotated.
word,
He over
he over
rotated.
rotated. Yeah.
But it wasn't his fault. The way he landed on the ladder like rolled him
Yeah.
back. And
And kudos to Sami Zayn showing up in this match too. He added a lot of,
kudos to some blood.
yeah.
It did a lot for this, because we thought no one was gonna bleed, and we were really upset because we're like, this is a blood feud. Someone should
Bleed.
bleed.
Yeah.
When it gets this intense, I feel like you need to sell that intensity, and they did. And I have to give it credit. You know what?
Yeah.
This is a solid 4-star match.
It was again. And then Cody does retain because Kevin Owens couldn't move.
But we also know Kevin Owens shouldn't have won the belts.
No.
But Sami Zayn comes out to ringside. And
Yes.
I'm going to give this one spoiler. Sami Zayn does not win the Royal Rumble.
No.
But from what
after
we
this
saw,
match, yeah.
the way that they kept showing Sami backstage, and then they showed this match, and then they showed Sami come out to help Kevin when he got hurt the first time, which was pretend. Then when this happened, you could see that he really got scared, because this was, like I said, this was not meant to happen. I'm not saying he got hurt.
No, but it wasn't. This was not a spot that was planned.
It played perfectly to. This is where you turn Cody heel. He meant to injure Kevin. You can keep Kevin heel here because Sami's a face.
Yeah.
Sami felt bad for his friend, even though he's a heel. Turn Cody heel, have Sami turn face, win the Rumble, and go to Mania to face Cody and let him win the belt. And this is his career rub. He gets the Rumble win and he gets his championship. You could take it off him right away, but this is his career rub. And tell me this is not like the amount of time he would have held the belt would have been irrelevant.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't win the belt,
even if he won
Mania,
even if he won it and
rub.
Then loses it at Backlash the next
even
month.
if he didn't win it, winning the Rumble and then losing in the main event at Mania, that's your rub. Career rub. Rub.
Yeah.
Right.
That
you have guys like
your
The
career.
Miz getting it. Why the hell wouldn't El Generico get a rub? El Generico is so innovative. He's not the creator, which I used to say all the time, of the Blue Thunder Bomb, but he was the person who made it his main move and perfected it and trained people how to use it. And people ask him for permission to use it, not Jun Akiyama.
Yeah.
And his stuff that he did in DDT, helping people come up, and Dragon Gate, and then what he did in Ring of Honor and the whole indie scene and the Canadian wrestling scene. It's like he deserves the rub way more than a Miz.
Yeah. Give this guy some credit.
And I'm sorry for the spoiler, but I feel like this, you set up a perfect storyline.
And he entered at number 27.
Right? Didn't we say that? If he comes in at 27, he's winning. Anyways, honest to God, and you rarely hear this out of my mouth. Solid 4-star match.
Yeah, I agree.
It could have been all the way if the first half was full blown.
Yeah, I agree.
To start off a ladder match that slow was like, why?
Yeah,
right. Like AEW would have went all the way.
I thought they were gonna, as soon as the bell would ring, I thought they'd do straight to the punch like that.
Yeah, like some heavy, like The Rock versus Stone Cold.
Yeah,
this time I'm gonna let it over. Like full Limp Bizkit.
So with that, your main event is the men's Royal Rumble, and the show starts off with Rey Mysterio and Penta.
Great.
Yeah.
What did we say? We were like, what a great start. And then who's third?
And then we get Chad Gable.
And we were freaking out. We're like, well, you're spoiling us. Like we're like children here in a candy store. And then
even better, our number 4 was Carmelo Hayes, and he comes in gangbusters.
And he was so good. His initial 5 or 6 minutes was amazing.
Yeah.
You can depend on him in a group fodder match. I know there wasn't actual fodder, but like the group is the fodder. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And Chad Gable was hot when he came in.
Yeah,
And
he
watching
was hot
Penta
for
versus Ray, the only knock I'll give him, and this will progress, I'm not giving spoilers. Penta really ran out of gas as the match
yes. And Penta
progressed.
got eliminated, technically.
Technically, right away.
Yeah.
He's not used to the WWE structure of things, and the camera went to zoom in on him, and both his feet touched the ground. Everybody saw it.
Yeah.
The crowd booed,
But they couldn't eliminate him right away. And then number 5, you had Santos Escobar.
which was perfect for the scenario
Yeah, which works out fine.
because he
Um,
has beef with Ray,
mhm.
who has they both have that like Latin beef
Lucha style. Yeah,
with
with Penta.
Penta. And then
Yeah.
you have Chad Gable in there, who's a really good wrestler, and you have Carmelo in there, who's a really good wrestler. So
Yeah.
we're spoiled as fuck
And then
right now.
continuing the story, who's feuding with Chad Gable, you get Otis in next.
And that was really good because we needed Otis to be our Chelsea Green here.
Hmm. Which he
And
was.
and what the difference between what him and Chelsea Green did was it continued a storyline.
Yes, that's exactly it. And then number 7, you
OTs.
got your boy, Braun Breaker.
And he came in House of Fire. We're so spoiled at this point. I know there's
Yeah.
Otis in there, but spoiled little bitches.
Yeah.
And
And
it was
then
great.
we all popped at number 8, which we thought was going to be Akira Tozawa.
Which would have been fun, but we
Carmelo
got
was
iShow Speed, which was cool. I'm not a big iShow Speed fan. My brother is
yeah.
the biggest streamer of all time. So like it's you them they're abusing but properly using their
Publicity.
ties to the YouTube
Yeah.
world now.
Yeah.
And good for them. That they got an extra on their YouTube channel. That video where he shows up is going to get billions
of views. Give him so much rub.
Smart.
And then you got Sheamus at number 9, Jimmy Uso number 10,
Spoiled. We're spoiled.
Andrade at number 11,
Super spoiled. We're crying right now. How
and
like
then
we
number
couldn't believe
12
it.
we get Jacob Fatu.
And this is where we started freaking out because we're like, oh, he's gonna come in and clean.
But he didn't.
He kind of did, but then immediately he did a move, and you could see he was kind of like sore, like
Yeah.
something happened, and he was like,
I
oh,
think he was still hurt from that Braun Strowman match
you
from
could
last
see
week.
He did a couple
Which
hot moves, and
it's
he was
going to
like,
be weird. Tune in tomorrow for that review.
Yeah, but he was like, you could see it in him.
Yeah. Then we get Ludwig Kaiser in a fun little spot.
It was, and he got eliminated way too fast. I thought
Yeah.
that was silly.
And then we get The Miz.
Yeah, and that he was really sucky for that entire. And this is not me being a hater because I don't like the Miz. His entire little like chunk there was really sucky.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. And then
at this point, I'm gonna say this. At this point, until the final like guy comes in, and we got like not the standoff, but the last group of people that are remaining.
Yeah.
From this point till then, there was some good spots, but the Rumble got really boring.
Yeah.
Like really like flat, and like Drew came in and it was kind of like okay.
Yeah, because
like,
number 15, they said his name. He appeared.
and we loved it. But then he came in and he didn't do anything, and he got eliminated way too fast.
Yeah. Because he got eliminated by Roman
But he
Reigns.
doesn't have hot spots. He's not a wrestler who has hot spots.
No, he was there for the initial pop. Then 16 Roman Reigns, 17 Drew McIntyre, 18
and Roman Reigns was pretty mid for this whole match.
He had the most eliminations in this show at 5.
But I expected more from him.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre didn't eliminate anybody in this match. Finn Balor.
Which is surprising because he's usually a House of Fire.
19 Nakamura.
Finn Balor was lame.
Number 20, we get Jey Uso. And oh my God, is the crowd hot for Jey Uso?
Factual. Can't deny it. I wish he came from the crowd, though.
Yeah. 21, we get a surprise return. AJ Styles.
Loved it. That got us really hyped, but then nothing really happened.
Because then after that, we get Braun Breaker. Or Braun Strowman, I should say.
But
too many Brauns.
It's not even the point. It's just nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Listen.
I think
not
they
to
were
spoil the review for tomorrow because it doesn't matter at this point. But if you saw what happened to Braun Strowman, why the hell is he in the Rumble?
Yeah.
Internal injuries. Oh my God, he's dying. Oh, but he's here a week later. He's cool.
Yeah. Because I think they were holding off any of the main stuff is for all the next people to come out. So next
should have had, and I'll die on this hill. This might be spoilers. I don't care because we're reviewing it anyways. Ethan Page and Josh Alexander,
which they did not come out.
Even if it was just a paid per match event moment, had them come out, have their little moment, clear house, let Josh go to Japan or whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
because we
So
don't know where he's going.
the final 7 inch, and this is why it slowed down because the last few entrants were John Cena 23, CM Punk
It was
24,
lame.
Seth
CM Punk
Rollins,
was okay, actually.
yeah,
CM Punk was pretty good.
Seth Rollins 25, Dom, who got the worst pop of the night at 26,
Dom sucked.
27, Sami Zayn. So when he came out at 27, we
He
thought, okay, maybe
he
this they might actually
got
pull the trigger on
eliminated
this one.
so fast.
Um, 28 was Damian Priest, 29 was LA Knight,
Yeah.
and number 30 was Logan Paul.
Sidebar, I forgot about this. LA Knight and Damian Priest both literally did nothing.
Yeah.
And I
The
don't
only
mean nothing because they didn't eliminate anyone, if anyone's going to correct me. I mean nothing like, did you even remember that they were there after
No.
they came out?
Damian Priest only eliminated Dominic Mysterio, which continues that
Seth
storyline.
Rollins was pretty lame in this match too.
Yeah.
CM Punk was actually surprisingly good.
Yeah.
But he did kind of fade into the background for a chunk of his time.
Yeah.
And you know I don't like him. I know he's your guy, but
Yeah. But I mean, so after Logan Paul comes in, this is when we get a lot more action coming in. And
and I thought Logan was great.
as much as it pains me to say this,
Yeah, we say it all the time. He's
yeah.
great. Shit person, really good wrestler.
Yeah.
Really
Agreed.
good.
Agreed.
I don't want to watch him go for 20 minutes with Kenny Omega, but to watch him go 10 minutes full blast with Ricochet or
Sure.
with Will Ospreay, I'll watch the shit
Carmelo
out of that.
Hayes. Why not?
Yeah, I'll watch the shit out of that. You know what I mean?
Even
I don't I
Penta.
don't I don't want to watch a 30-minute match with him versus Okada
No.
or
But
AJ Styles, but 10 minutes with like Andrade. Oh,
yeah,
that
so
would be wicked.
that would be a great match. That would be a good match.
He needs to be in Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I'll put him in Money in the Bank. So we get CM Punk and Roman Reigns teaming together to eliminate Seth Rollins, and then as soon as he's eliminated, Logan Paul eliminates Roman and CM Punk at the same time. And
And then tell him how we were left.
we thought, holy shit, Logan Paul is going to win the Rumble.
And I was okay with it because it's a put over to get him to main event Mania and a lose.
Yeah.
But that's his rub. You lose at Mania in the main event.
But then he gets right away eliminated by John Cena. Yeah, by John Cena.
By John Cena.
John Cena.
So now we're already scared going into this last segment because there's a couple guys in the room that are screaming, even though they don't want him to, that John Cena is going to win, and it's making everybody else nervous that maybe he is going to win.
Yeah.
And you've seen me.
And let's talk about the silliness.
Okay. But before we get to silliness, before we talk about what's going to happen, you can vouch for me on this. At this point,
we're all thinking that's it. Cena's winning.
I stood up, full blast, sorry to his wife, screaming my brains out that you can't do this.
Yeah.
If you're not currently wrestling. You're no longer a good wrestler. In my eyes, you never were.
You're on a retirement tour.
You're on a retirement tour. You're not wrestling daily.
This is your chance to put somebody over.
You should be putting somebody over. Okay. You shouldn't be Jerichoing and you shouldn't be Tanahashiing. And this is my point to that. Tanahashi still wrestles. Jericho still wrestles. You no longer wrestle. Even though you're doing your retirement tour, you're not a wrestler anymore.
Yeah, you're not a full-time competitor, whereas Jericho and Tanahashi are still
him winning would drive me nuts. You talk about in podcasts all the time how it hurts your heart that you defeated the Nexus and ruined such a huge stable that could have took WWE to the pinnacle.
Wade Barrett could have been a top star in that company.
That faction could have took WWE so far that they would have shut down every other company.
That could have been that could have been
NWO. And he knows that. So I was like, this is your chance. I don't care what Triple H told you is going to happen. You lose on purpose.
Make it right.
And I was so upset. And so now tell them what you were saying.
So John Cena, and
it got goofy.
The him hanging on the rope going, whoa.
You know what made me more mad than that? John Cena hit Jey Uso with like 17 finishers, and somehow Jey Uso was still good.
Yeah.
Jey Uso did. This is the problem that I have with Young Bucks specifically and Usos specifically as wrestlers. You take 27 finishers, but then stand up and super kick someone.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah, they're very known for that.
And then what super kick happened? He falls for a minute. They get up spear.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we're happy because maybe John Cena's not going to win now. But we're trying to like come to the conclusion of in our heads of like, how is this possible? How did you take every finisher in the book? You took the knuckle, you took
the 5 moves of doom, they call it, right?
Yeah. And it's like, then they did the goofy side spots. And it was like when he picked him up to do the FU off the side, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, he's gonna win.
Yeah. But in the end, Cena does not win. Your Royal Rumble winner for 2025 is main event Jey Uso. The crowd went absolutely ballistic for him.
As long as he doesn't win the title, I'm super happy with this. This is a great putover, a great
Hmm.
putover. I love Jey Uso. I'm not advocate of him being one of the best wrestlers, but I
No.
like him a lot. I love
Yeah.
the Usos
And
as a
it's
tag team.
something different.
They're one of the
Just,
best tag teams of all
yeah.
time.
But it's not just that. It's something different. After 2 years of Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre and like
It felt like an
Brock
underdog
Lesnar.
one. It
Yeah.
felt, but I personally, if we were gonna hand pick somebody, I think maybe LA Knight
Hmm.
before his peak is coming quick. He's about to
Yeah.
tank off. Believe me, because he's getting old. The fans don't have him that hard, and his wrestling skill is slowly dwindling. This was your chance. But this is what I'm gonna say. With this outcome, LA Knight will never win a Royal Rumble.
No.
This was it. It was this or never. But I'm okay
And,
with it.
and I am putting this down as one of the feel-good moments of 2025.
Absolutely. But I will state this right now: the women's match was better.
Oh yeah.
It was botchier, but it was way more entertaining and fun. This match was super boring in the middle, and when
Yeah.
Penta got gassed and started botching every single thing he was doing, who gave him the Hurricane Rana? Remember, we were like, how did he give a better Hurricane Rana
The
than Penta?
Miz.
The Miz, yeah, Penta completely fumbled a Hurricane Rana that the Miz still sold, and then the Miz did one on him that was absolutely perfect.
That was insane. The Miz doing a better Hurricane Rana than Penta.
And I think people have to get eliminated. We weren't expecting
Yeah.
Penta to win. But the way that Penta had the first third of the match so dominantly, the way he got eliminated made me feel like it doesn't feel like you care about this guy.
Yeah.
You let him go House of Fire for a third of the match, and he was eliminated so like unjustly. Like it was silly the way his
Yeah.
elimination was goofy.
It was. But in the end, that was the Royal Rumble for 2025. What would you score this?
You go first.
I'm giving it an 8.1.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's because we had people over and we had you know what I mean? It was more
We had
fun when
good
you
wings.
shout out to Town Wings. I need a
Give us a
sponsor for the
sponsor.
show. Yeah,
Sponsor,
if I
sponsor, sponsor.
please, yeah, Town Wings,
Um,
man.
and water. Water sponsor us.
Yeah.
Um, the women's match was like a 3.5, and then I got like a 3.25. 4. This was like a 3.5, but I still like the women's match better. I'll go 7.6.
Okay. That's fair.
It was good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Super good pay-per-view. I just think the tag team match was missing something, and then the men's Royal Rumble was just kind of boring. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Fair enough.
bad. Boring doesn't mean bad.
No.
You at this point of this length of pay-per-view,
Yeah, I
maybe
think
I
I
needed a
for,
third match in between.
yeah, a buffer match.
Maybe I needed just a third match. I would have liked to have a women's title match there.
Yeah,
Anyways, let's
but it is what it
seven
is.
six is a good score.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
What
I
does
said,
that
I
make us combined? 8, 7, 8? Yeah, like seven,
yeah,
eight.
something like that. Seven,
That's
eight.
no, that's a good fucking score. We're not
Yeah.
monetized.
Five. Okay. 785.
Yeah,
7.85 is our
we'll
average in
give a
there.
7.9 together.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So with that out of the way, guys,
Mhm.
thanks again for joining us. It's going to be in a weird order. Tune in tomorrow for Saturday night's main event from last week. We just wanted to get this out right away for you guys because it's still fresh in our minds and we wanted to, get it out for you. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Tune in tomorrow, Saturday night's main event from the week prior. Campo will be joining us on that. So in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.